This is some of the things I'm going to use for today's video, winterizing. Okay, today, after a long summer of travel, your RV is ready for the winter, especially here in Michigan where the temperatures drop below 32 and potentially may freeze your lines, your holding tanks. So you always want to make sure that everything's emptied out of your RV. So today I'm going to show you how I go about doing this every fall, at least until when we start traveling during the winter. Then I won't have to worry so much about winterizing the Mothership. So if it's windy in the speaker, bear with it. It is October something, so the temperature is only about 45. So I'm trying to get a head start on this. So I will narrate as I go and try to educate as many of you as I can. Open up this hot water tank and drain all the water by opening that spigot up and getting rid of the water that has been stored in the hot water tank. That and water drains out of the hot water tank. Some people just have a regular plug. This particular hot water tank has that attachment on it, so draining the water out of that is a big, could take a little while because it's 6 to 10 gallon hot water tank. What we want to do is drain the water out of my holding tank. So as you've seen in a prior episode, a video that I recorded, we had a leak, and I found out how to winterize the Mothership from that leak, and it was a good learning experience. So what I'm going to do is open all of these up. All three of these will drain the water coming out of the holding tank that we had in there. Didn't have much in there because we only took it out camping once this year. Up the water lines on all the taps in the RV, including the hot water tank. The shower is open. The bathroom sink is open, and I have my holding tank lines open as well, and my hot water tank. Before I do the next step, you want all those open because we're gonna show you what to do with that next. Is I take one of these and I attach it to our freshwater inlet, and I'll show you what's up next. You attach that to your freshwater intake, and what I'm going to do is turn the compressor on. I'm going to blow air into the lines, and it's going to blow all the water out of the lines and the tanks because there's water that may still be resting in those things. Is with all the lines open, it's blowing all the water out of your lines. A lot of people are scared that your lines are going to blow, but the trick with that is to make sure all of your water lines and holding tanks are open, and you should never have a problem. I've been doing this with the last 4 trailers I've owned because I can't stand the taste of RV antifreeze in my holding tanks. Even with the bypass, you always tend to get it in your freshwater tank, and it's very nasty, and it seems to stay in there a very long time. I've had to flush tanks out. So that's the reason I blow my lines out. Water that come out of the drains. You want to make sure that your holding tanks are empty, or your gray and black water tanks are empty as well. Because that's going to freeze up, and you don't want that mess come springtime when you get ready to go travel. Blow the lines out, not blow them out. Add air to the water lines. I opened up all of my sinks and my toilet, all of that. I've opened up my hot water tank, my freshwater holding tank, blew air through there, and drained all the water out of everything, including my black and gray water tanks, to make sure they were empty. And so far, everything's clean. There was no water in the faucets or the shower, so I was lucky there, probably because it's been a while since we've taken the RV out camping. So on that note, I'm going to go on to the next step. I'm going to double check. I'm going to blow some more air through the lines just to make sure that there's no water. And once I'm absolutely sure there's no more water in the lines, we'll be able to proceed with the next couple things that I do to mouse-proof and rodent-proof the Airstream. Absolutely nothing coming out of there. What I do usually is to make sure that there's no air in there by opening this up. And that is open, and there's absolutely nothing in the hot water tank. And the fresh water holding tank is almost done draining. So we're almost near the end of getting rid of all the water in your lines, in the RV's lines. The next step is to take this RV and marine antifreeze. Sorry for the nasty ashtray there. We're smokers at times. And what I do with this is I dump it down all of my drains. Just to get some antifreeze in the traps and some in my black water tank and gray water tank. That way you prevent any kind of excess water that may be laying in the traps from freezing up during the winter time and the freezing temperatures. Is bounce. I'm going to put some bounce throughout the Airstream, as well as dice some Irish Spring up and put that throughout the Airstream as well. It's supposed to help keep rodents out, and I think we might have good success with that because we do have some out here at Dark Nest. So that's the last step of the winterizing process. Put the bounce anywhere where your linens are and your cupboards, and Irish Spring I'm going to put in some of my cabin space underneath. I'm going to place it on paper plates. In our cabins, or our basement storage, and place it in a couple different areas in the Airstream itself. And that about concludes our winterization process. And stay tuned for the next video, which will be covering the RV with an RV cover. That ought to be humorous, to say the least. Thanks for watching.